welcome to HAY-ON-WYE. This tiny little town is often referred to as just Hay and is located on the Welsh-English border. It's actually the national book town of Wales thanks to the prevalence of around 20 bookshops. Hay has been inhabited for millennia and has actually passed back and forth between the English and the Welsh over the centuries. The etymology of the name Hay actually means small ringed enclosure, and one of the dominating aspects of this town today is Hay Castle. This was originally constructed in the 11th and 12th centuries during the Norman invasion of Wales, but a lot of what you see today was actually built as a 17th century manor house. We've just purchased tickets to visit the castle. They're £7.50 and they last for a whole year. And now we're going to watch a short film about the history of Hay and its surroundings. This is the oldest part of the castle and it dates all the way back to 1130 when the Normans came and invaded Wales. Today it's one of the most photographed areas of the museum, and the other floors are more dedicated to the history and things like this. This is where you feel like you're truly stepping back in time. Next to me, there's even the remains of a medieval stone missile. There's even this area where you can dress up, and I think I know exactly what we'll see be. The history of Hay-on-Wye as a book town dates all the way back to 1962 when Richard Booth opened the first bookshop here. Born in Plymouth and educated in Oxford, Richard Booth actually moved to Hay-on-Wye when he inherited a second-hand bookshop from his uncle William Booth. His idea was simple. He would get residents from Hay to send their books back from wherever they had travelled from so that he could sell the books here in his second-hand bookshop. By the 1970s, more and more booksellers were doing this, selling their second-hand books, and Hay had become a book town. Richard Booth was a pretty eccentric guy. In 1977, he actually declared Hay-on-Wye as a micronation and a kingdom of its own. He made himself the king, but for the princely sum of £55, you can buy a certificate which will certificate you as a lady, lord, duke or duchess. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2019, and now some of his most important personal effects, including his old desk, are held here in the museum. And what started with just one bookshop has now turned into over 2,000. And it doesn't end there, because Hay is also home to an annual literary festival, which was founded back in 1988. Each year, tens of thousands of people come to Hay during the end of May to the beginning of June, where they enjoy literary talks, visits from authors, and other book-inspired events. Most of the bookshops here have a specialty or a second hand. Some have been turned into antique stores in recent times, but there are still lots and lots of bookshops for bibliophiles to explore. So let's go and check some of them out. This is an honesty bookshop, and what that essentially means is that there's no one here manning the bookshop. Instead, you take whichever book you want, and it's all about honesty because you have to put what you owe in the box here. All proceeds go to the upkeep of Hay Castle, and it's all outdoors, so I'm not sure how the books fare during the year. We stopped for lunch at this little sandwich shop close to several antique stores. To be honest, the best way to explore Hay is simply to stroll into any bookshop which looks interesting. Just leave space in your suitcase for the books you're planning to buy. We've stopped for a quick coffee in a delightful cafe overshadowed by the clock tower, which dates all the way back to 1884 and is one of the most memorable monuments in town. If you visit just one bookshop here in HAY-ON-WYE, make sure it is Richard Booth's. It spans over several floors. There are thousands of books to discover. The ambience inside is really cozy. There's even seats upstairs where you can sit down and read a book. There's also a cafe and cinema on site. It truly feels like every single corner of this town is home to a bookshelf or two. This one is one where you can take a book if you bring a book. We're currently next to the River Wye, which is why HAY-ON-WYE is called Hay-On-WYE, and you can go on the river walk here, which is very pleasant, especially on a sunny day like today. Half of HAY-ON-WYE is in Wales and the other half is in England. We stayed in a pub in the village, which was a bit pricey, but it was great to be close to all of the bookshops, and it was a great base from which to explore the wider region. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more UK travel content. See you next time.